All right, so we got the 432 jacked up over here. Front tire ran over a nail last year when I was at a tractor show. So we're gonna see if we can get it off and fix it. It just has a hole in the tube, so I was just gonna patch the tube. So let's see what we can do. All right, I got a hole in this tube right here. And I ran over a nail. You can see this little mark where the nail was. I used this little bike tube repair kit here to patch the hole here in the 432 tube. I'm having a problem with the glue sticking, and I tried patching it once and I had to peel it off because it wouldn't stick. And I have like glue residue on there, so I tried to clean it with some solvent, sand it down and try it again, but see if it holds any air. Junk Harbor Freight tire changer just broke. What the heck? I mean, I probably changed 20 tires with this in a couple of years, and junk aluminum just busted right off. Piece of junk. Bunch of crap. And now I got no spark, so let's pull the points and clean them and see if we can fire this turd up, man. The points, I think. Still got my spark tester on, but I gave it a shot of ether just for the hell of it. Let's see what happens. I don't think we got any spark. I think the key switch is messed up. I really do. Yeah, we got nothing, man. Piece of junk. Yep, key switch is bad. When you have to switch on start, there's no power going to the coil. So the minute you let off start, it gets spark, and it just happened to start up. So I got to turn it off. Well, I turned on the mower deck, and I heard a clank, and the gearbox broke. Look, second time that's happened on this tractor. Bam, busted right off. Freaking casting broken. Not cool. Not cool. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. Two of the 4 bolts just casting, just busted right off the freaking thing. Oh well, so much for all that work. Yeah, so I got the deck off, and the bottom of these gearboxes just busted off. The IPL says to use a 3/4 inch bolt, which is what I had in the one that broke. I had this bolt, which is about a 1 inch, in the other one. I'm gonna try to put this one in, which might be even like 1.5 or so. I'm just gonna see. I don't even know how deep the threads go, but we're gonna give it a shot. This is interesting. So I took the gearbox off the new parts deck, and all 3 of these have apparently been busted off or something, and they all have like a spacer in there. This is just a nut that someone ground down to fit in there. And same with that one. And same with this one. Very interesting. So, a friend of mine told me he had 2 gearboxes in his barn. Both of them were busted the same way too. So, I don't know what the heck was happening with these things back in the day, but something was messed up. I have another good box, and I measured up from the carrier up to the bottom of the box. It's supposed to be about 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to mock this one up on this frame and see if it's up 3/4 of an inch or not. And if it is, I'm just going to bolt it on the way they had it with the spacers. Well, I got it mounted, and there's a little bit of noise in the gear. I don't like it, but I'm going to try it anyway, see what happens. Right, so this is the deck off the 432. Listen to that bearing and that spindle. We're going to try to put new bearings in. Let's take it apart. All right, so you got to take the top pulley off here with a puller. So we got that off. And listen to that sucker, man. That thing is hurt, dude. Hurt. Hopefully it's a top bearing and not the needle bearing. So I'm actually going to take these 4 bolts off to hold the spindle on, and we'll work on it on a bench now. All right, so I got it in the vise now. We got to take out this key here, and then we'll see if we can drive the whole shaft down out the bottom. So let's give it a shot. Got the key out of the thing, and I'm just going to press the shaft out. I put the nut on there to protect it. It shouldn't take a lot of force. There we go. Figured as long as I have the press, I'll use the press. And there we go. She's coming out. That thing is shot ski, as they say. So we got some nice replacement Chinese bearings called TCB, which is Chinese for Torrington Bearing, I think. Back in the day, all the good bearings were made in Torrington, Connecticut. I think this was a Torrington bearing, but sadly, we're going to put this POS in its place. So I had just taken a chisel and I punched the bearing out, so just going to drive this one in the top here and we should be good to go. Use the old bearing to drive the new bearing in, and it feels nice. So pretty much we just got to put our shaft back in now, and I think we should be in good shape. All right, so I'm pressing it back together. Just pushing the shaft down. Oh, there we go. Just went through the bearing. So we're close. I'll run out of stroke here in a minute, I think. There we go. That should be good. Check it out. I wish I could show you how to spin it. Let's do it upside down. It will be okay. It just needs a little grease. It's not loud at all. The roller bearing was actually in good shape, so I think we successfully saved this thing for a $6 Chinese bearing. All right, let's see. We got 2 more to do, and let's see what happens. Really crappy blades here. I mean, like, the ends are torn and everything. I just sharpened them back up, and we're gonna throw them back on this deck because it's an old deck, and it actually cut really good last year with these blades. I just gave them a little bit of an edge. So let's put it back together and see what happens. Listen to this stub shaft here on the 432. It sounds horrible. Oh well. This key switch is all messed up. I put this key switch in about a year ago and it's shot already. We're gonna take it out and put an INDAC in. We're gonna wire a 5-prong connector on here. And I've got a brand new INDAC, so I'm tracing all the wires to find out where they go. Then I'm cutting these ends off here, and we're soldering on the correct ends that have the little tab on there to stay into the key switch connector. So we're doing it right. So I got 2 done. This next one here is for the coil, which is the I for ignition terminal on the new key switch. So I'm just gonna cut this end off and we'll solder one of these on there and press it into the key switch. All right, so I pushed one of the wires in the wrong thing. So I have this Delphi pin connector tool remover, and you simply push it in there and bam, it just bends over that locking tab so that you can pull it out and put it back into the correct pin, which that one should be there. Okay, cool. Now, the one that goes to the coil is going to be this spot here. You simply slide that in and click, bam, done. So we got 3 of them in there. I think this wire here goes to the solenoid, this one. So that's our next most important one. And then there's a whole bunch of other wires that I honestly have no idea where they go. One is going to the cigarette lighter. I'm not even going to bother to hook that up because clearly we're not going to ever use it. And the other one goes to the headlights, which would go on the A for accessory tab. So that would get us pretty much full over here, but this tool here, the Delphi connector tool, is really an awesome tool. And I got that from electricaldepot.com, where I get all these Packard connectors from. So let me work on the solenoid wire and then we'll be back. All right, so the white wire did go to the solenoid. That red wire, I think, goes to the back as if maybe they had a rear headlight at some point. So I'm gonna leave it unhooked because we don't have a rear headlight right now. So let me get this one here crimped. There's a special crimper for this. but honestly I can never get it to work right. So I just found using my pliers here, I can bend it very easily and make it look really nice. And again, it just has to fit into the key switch, so no one's ever going to see it. But I do like to solder these because it makes it stronger, all the vibration and everything. I got an old dog gear here from a Model L that I'm just putting my wire on while I'm soldering. So let me get this brewing here. If I could keep it steady, that would be great. It keeps wanting to fold over on me. There we go. Take it a minute to heat up this big plug. And I'm soldering on an old wire that probably has some corrosion in it that wouldn't stick as good as a new wire. There's no fuse in this tractor either, so I am going to have to put a fuse in. For now, I just put a wire nut on the wire that's going to the battery that should have the fuse in it. And then I can take it apart later and solder a fuse in and shrink wrap it and stuff so it's nice. But there we go. Starting to stick now, starting to heat up. This little block works good to solder on. Nothing worse than trying to solder a wire and having nothing solid to hold it on while you're soldering it. So, oh, it's windy out today. Wind's going everywhere. But this thing's going to be nice and solid when we're done. It's going to be really nice. Just about good. We should be good with that, so we'll let it cool off. Yep, so we'll stick that one into the plug. We got to do this blue one here for the headlights next. Where's my wire clippers? Here they are. That just had some junk crimped on connector from the DPO. So this place here, Electrical Depot, I highly recommend them. They got all these Packard connector plugs, and they're not very expensive either. And I can't find this kind of stuff at any local stores, so that's why I go to them. And they ship it fast, the prices are good, it's real good stuff. Now I'm going to have to order some more supplies because this pretty much depletes my stock here of the 5-pin connector harnesses. There we go. Yeah, that's looking good. Let's bring this down here and solder that one on. Alright, so we're to the point where we can put the key switch in and plug the wires in, and that red wire was going to the back like it was a rear headlight. And again, we don't have a rear headlight, so it doesn't do us any good. Uh-oh. I dropped the washer. Alright, so you just got to make sure when you hook up your key switch that it's oriented properly for how you want it to turn. So we should be good. So let me just get a 3/4 inch wrench and tighten it up solid. That should be really nice. So plug this key in. Turns, good. Now we'll plug this connector on the back. Oh yeah. That's awesome, nice and tight. Now, the only thing left to do is just hook up the battery here. This battery is totally dead, by the way, so we're going to have to use our jump box to test it. But you get the idea here, so let me tighten this up. This terminal is in really bad shape. Let me get the jump box and we'll fire it up. All right, let's see what happens. We got the jump box on there.
Jump.
Yeah, baby. Pretty good. Okay, the mower deck is hooked up. We're going to see what happens. Stand back, or I'll get the case of that. Well, I hope you enjoyed the 432 video. The thing ran like a champ. It starts, the wires all work good, it mowed great. We still need to address the PTO shaft where it comes out of the transmission. It looks like there's a needle bearing and a ball bearing in there, but I think you have to split the whole transmission off the frame to do that. So I'm in no rush. Stay tuned for the next video and comment, like, and subscribe.